Hello, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create your first Google Chrome extension using your knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Extensions are small programs that add functionality to your browser. You probably already have some installed, and after this video, you'll have the tools you need to be able to create your own. Before you get started, I recommend reading the tutorial on the Chrome developer page. The extension that you make can vary a lot in complexity, but I'm going to get you guys started with the basics and provide you with resources to build upon them yourselves. To start building our extension, we're going to need to go over to our editor. I'm using VS Code for this tutorial. The first thing we're going to need to do is make a folder to store a project. So we're going to go to Open. We're going to find a place to create a new folder. And we're going to name this folder whatever we want. I'm going to name it My First Extension. So now we're going to create our folder and we're going to click Open to open it up in VS Code. So now that we have our folder set up, we can start creating the files that we need. The most essential file that we're going to start with is a manifest.json file. So we're going to create that, manifest.json. Every extension that you create is going to need to have this file. So we're going to go over to the Chrome pages and we can see the file format for the manifest file. These are all of the different fields that you can include. Today we're just going to use a few of these. We're going to get started with the required fields, the manifest version, the name, the program, the version of your program, and we're going to add in a description for now. Be sure to take note of your manifest version. Right now it's 2. You can find it here, but this may change if you're watching this video in the future. So now we're going to get started working with our JSON file. So we're going to start with our manifest version. We're going to type in manifest underscore version, and our current manifest version was 2. And we're going to add our name. The name that I'm going to use for this is just going to be my first extension. Then we're going to add the version of the program. You can make that whatever you'd like. I'm going to start with, let's do version 1.0. Oops. And now we're going to add a description. And we're just going to say this is my first Chrome extension. Now that we're finished with our manifest.json file, we're going to head over to our browser. We're going to click these 3 dots over here. We're going to go to More Tools, click Extensions, and here we'll see a list of all the extensions that we currently have installed. Up here we see a switch for development mode. We're going to flip that on, and we're going to see 3 new buttons here. Now we want to add our extension to our browser, so we're going to click Load Unpacked. We're going to find wherever the folder that you created for your extension is located. Mine's right here. You can see the manifest.json file. So we're going to select this folder, and you should see here that our new extension just pops up. We can see the name of our extension, the version that we selected, and the description that we have for this extension. So we just created our first Chrome extension. Right now there's no functionality, but we can get started adding functionality to it. So we just created your first Chrome extension. Right now there's no functionality. So now you just created your first Google Chrome extension. It doesn't do anything yet, so let's add some functionality. When getting started adding functionality to our Google Chrome extension, there's a lot of different possibilities. We can choose to either create an extension that only runs in the background. We could have an extension with a UI where you can click over here and have a pop-up window, or you can have a combination of both. So to get started, I'm going to show you guys just a simple background extension. So to get started with that, we're going to use the background field, and then it has a couple of things we need to specify. So we're going to specify the name of our script that we're going to use. We're going to use JavaScript scripts for this. So we're going to make an array and include all of the scripts. So the script that I'm going to use is just going to be called background.js. And we're also going to include the field of persistent, and we're going to set this to true. So now we need to create our background.js file. I'm going to do that over here. And now we have a background.js file. This is giving me an error because, we need a comma here. And we should be good. So now we have our background.js file, and as it sounds, this file is going to run in the background whenever our extension is running. So I already have some code that I am going to add to this file. So basically what this code does is it's a function called checkAudible, and it's using the Chrome.tabs API, and it's getting all of the tabs with the audible equals true field. So it is then going to take all of those tabs, it's going to check if there are any tabs, and then it's going to log to the console whether or not that audible is true. So, and then this runs on an interval every 5 seconds. So since we're using the Chrome.tabs API, we're also going to need to add some permissions in here. To do that, we are going to use the permissions field. And the permission that we want to use right now, we're going to create an array of these permissions, is the tabs permission. So anyone that installs our extension is going to need to accept these permissions. So now we can save this, we can make sure our JavaScript file is saved, and we can head back over to our browser. We can see our extension here. We can click the little reload icon here, and let's look over here. We can see our extension. Right now it's grayed out, there's nothing, there's no UI. So how do we know if it's working? So because our Chrome extension is running in the background, to be able to see our console logs, we have to go to this background page on the extension page. So we'll click on that, and it will bring up this, it'll show us the console. So in the console right now we can see that something is playing audio, and that is true. It says this tab is playing audio here in Chrome. So if we were to pause that, see, so it's at 10, 11 because it's still playing. It updates every 5 seconds. So if we were to go over and pause this, we will start to see that nothing is playing audio. Yep, and it's updating every time, saying nothing is playing audio. A couple seconds, boom, there's a second one. So we can see that our script works and it runs in the background. There's no extension here for it. It's grayed out. We can't click it. So now we're going to add a UI component, something that the user can actually see. So to get started adding the UI component, we're going to go back into our manifest.json, and we're going to add some more things. So we want to add what is called a browser underscore action, and this has a couple of fields. The first one is going to be the default underscore pop-up. So this is going to be the name of the HTML file that we use to mark up the pop-up window. So I'm just going to name mine popup.html. So now we're going to create our HTML file. So we'll name it popup.html. And now we have our blank HTML file. So I'm just going to copy and paste something that I have added here. Just a basic thing. has a title of audio checker. It uses a popup.js script here, so we'll need to add that, and just a small body with a paragraph that says, am I playing sound? And then this paragraph will be changed in our popup.js. I'm going to go ahead and just copy over what I have for that, which is basically the same as in our background.js. So we're going to go ahead and add this. It's the same thing, the only thing is that we're changing that P1 tag based on whether music is playing or not. So we're going to make sure all of our files are saved. Go through and save everything. And we're going to go back to our browser, and we can reload our extension. So now if we go over here, we can see my first extension. We can even pin it, that way it pops up over here. And now we have some functionality. Now we can see when we click on it, it shows a window. It says, am I playing sound? And right now it just updated and said, no, there's no sound playing. So let's see. Now that I have some sound playing, if I click on it, it says, yes, sound is playing, because this tab over here is playing sound. Now, every time it updates, it will continue to say that it's playing sound until I pause it, and then we can check back again. We can check back again, and now it should say that it is not playing sound. Great, so there's our UI. It was a very simple UI that we set up. All we had to do was add our default pop-up and our popup.html, which you can make this as extravagant as you want. I just added, quick head, body, paragraph tags with the most basic styling. The possibilities are really endless here. You can use, any JavaScript you want. So this just about wraps up my tutorial on how to make a basic Google Chrome extension. I went over how to create an extension with just a background script running, and I even showed you guys how to add a small UI to that. You can really do whatever you want with this extension. It's up to you how you choose to implement it, but the possibilities are really endless. Thanks for watching.